Welcome to our lesson on creating fills, line types, composites, and materials. First thing we'll take a look at is creating a fill. First thing we'll do is we'll create a box, say 4 foot by 4 foot, an area to define the fill pattern that we'll be working with. Then we have to draw our fill using lines, arcs, circles, what have you. So we'll zoom in here and we're going to make something that looks like a concrete type fill. Let's select all that and we'll say rotate a copy. Now we can select this all and we'll press Control Alt. We'll start to drag, press Control Alt. That'll give us the multiple copy. Okay, now the second step, we'll go down here to Hotspot, select Hotspot, and we'll place a hotspot on the 4 corners of our pattern. Now we can select our pattern frame and delete that. Now we'll copy our pattern and go into Options, Element Attributes, and then to Fill Types. And we're going to click New. And we're going to rename this Concrete 6. Select Symbol Fill and OK. Now we're going to go here and we're going to click Paste. That pastes our pattern. We have a couple of buttons here. One to zoom in and one to zoom out, and this is just for preview purposes on the pattern. We have our screen only bitmap pattern, which we can adjust as desired. Click on the bits to make them disappear, or click with your mouse and hold the button down to draw. We have an option to scale with the plan. The fill will scale itself according to the scale that we assigned. It'll expand or contract. Scale independent, if we select that, it will always stay the same size. So we'll select OK. Now if we go into our fill tool and go down to Concrete 6 and select OK, and we're in our filled rectangular geometry mode, we can draw out a box, and here we have the fill pattern that we've designed here, and that's how we create a new fill. Alright, we're going to take all this and delete it. And now we're going to create a line. If we double click on the line tool and we click here, you can see that we've got an extensive library of lines that come with ARCHICAD. But occasionally we'll find a circumstance where we're going to need to create a line for ourselves. So the way we do that, again, like creating a fill, we'll select lines, circles, arcs, what have you. And we'll start drawing our pattern. Here we'll make a dash, a circle, and a box, and we can also put in some kind of text. Now with the text inserted, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to trace over our text with the line tool. Then we'll delete that piece of text so that we only have the lines left. Now we select all of this and copy. Then we'll go into options, element attributes, and line types. That'll bring up this box. We'll select new. We'll call that circle dash A. Make it a symbol type. Click OK. Now we're going to paste the line components. And here's an example of what our line will look like up here. And you'll see that down at the bottom of our line types. We can adjust the gap between the repeating segments, or the dash. We can make it scale independent or scale with plan. We'll select OK. Now if we go back into line and double click, we should see that new line type at the bottom. Click OK. And if we start to draw a line, you can see how our new line type has been created. So we'll delete all that. And the next thing we'll go over is creating composites. Okay, first of all, what is a composite? If if we go into walls and we come down here to our cut fill, you'll notice that we have some composite structures for the walls, such as brick masonry, insulation, 6-inch block and gyp board, siding 2x6 wood stud, stucco 2x4 wood stud. These are composite structures that show the various different skins on our cut fill and help to eliminate drafting and make the design of our project easier. But let's take a look and see how these work. Let's take this first one here, and you'll notice that once we've selected a composite for the cut fill on the wall, we can no longer adjust the width of the wall, because that is determined actually now by the width of the composite structure. So if we draw a wall made out of composites, you can see we have various different skins that indicate the various different materials that are going into the wall. If we draw a section and open that section, you can see that the section view also shows the various different skins that go into that wall. So what if we want to create our own composite for a particular wall that we have in mind? It can also be used for slabs and roofs. We'll go into making a new composite for a wall. To do that, we go to Options, Element Attributes, Composites. Now if we want to create a new composite, and I don't know why they don't have a new button here, but the way we create a new composite is first we do a duplicate of any wall. Select OK. Alright, now we rename that. So let's just call this Test Comp for Test Composite, and select OK. Now here we have some selections that we can make, which would be the list of the composite structures, components, and component parameters. So this top line up here is selected as a solid line. Now when we come down here and we select this area, this is the outer brick face of the wall. And we come down again and we have another solid line. Then we have an airspace. And we have another solid line. And we have exterior sheathing and building paper. Another solid line. We have 2x wood framing, solid line, and then we have our interior finish, the gypsum board. Okay, so how do we edit this? Well, with our components selected, we can either insert a skin, or clear a skin. The line types between the skins can be changed. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's make a simple 2x4 stud wall with stucco on the outside and drywall on the inside. So the first thing we'll do is we'll select the brick veneer skin, and we can clear that. Now we have an airspace, we can clear that. Here we've got exterior sheathing and building paper. let's edit that. We're gonna go down here to the composite skin, and we're gonna select stucco for the outside. And we're gonna make that stucco, instead of 1/2 inch thick, we're gonna make that 3/4 inch thick. You can see how the skin there has expanded. Now we'll go down to our next 2x4 wood frame. The thickness is already assigned at 3.5 inches, so we'll leave that alone. And 2x wood frame fill, that's fine, we'll leave that alone. And the next skin is gypsum board, 1/2 inch. That's fine, we'll leave that alone. This column here gives us our skin priorities, and we can adjust those here. If we want to raise the skin priority on any of these elements, we just highlight them, and we can increase or decrease the skin priority. We can also assign to each individual skin whether it's a finish component or a core component. In this case, the 2x4 wood framing would be the core component, and the stucco would be finish component, and the gypsum board would be a finish component. And that means measurements are taken off this core component and not the finish component. So we've got test comp for our new composite structure. We'll select OK. We'll go back into our wall tool, and we'll go down to our cut fill. Unfortunately, we can't see this, but we've got our test composite selected. Now we select OK, and now when we draw our wall and we zoom in, you can see that here we have our stucco, drywall, and our 2x4 stud. Now let's draw another wall. And we'll select those, and then we can go into document extras, automatic dimensioning, exterior dimensioning, and we'll do some automatic dimensioning for this. And you can see that with the automatic dimensioning, the dimensioning is picking up the core structure for the dimension value of 3.5 inches and not the outer or inner skin. So that's one way the core and finish tabs on our selections for the composite work in dimensioning in ARCHICAD. Okay, I've dimensioned this wall section here from the first composite that we laid down. And you'll notice that if we open that section, turn on our quick options, and here we have an option to select the entire structure, core only or without finishes. So if we go to core only, you can see how those exterior finishes have disappeared from the wall. We can also do without finishes, which just take off anything that was assigned as a finish. So this is another way that we can use quick options and these selections when we select how we want to look at a section, core only or the entire structure. Worth noting here is if we select this wall and show the selection in 3D, here we have the entire structure selected. If we go to our core only, that function will also work in the 3D view. Okay, so let's go back to our first floor. delete all this. And we'll go into our lesson on creating a new material. Creating a new material in ARCHICAD is quite simple. Here we have a slab that I've drawn on the floor plan, which I've made about 5 feet thick, just as an object to work with. And if we take a look at this in the 3D window, we can see that right now we've got a very simple surface material. So let's go back to the floor plan. The material that we have selected right now is pine. But let's create a new and completely different material for this object here. We'll go into Options, Element Attributes, and Materials. And that brings up this dialog box. Another way to get into this is Windows. We can bring up a toolbar, Attributes, that we can dock wherever we like up here. And this little paintbrush is the icon for materials, so we can click that also. The next step is to duplicate any one of the materials and select OK. And now we'll rename that. We'll call that test material and select OK. We have an option here to create our preview with the internal engine, the Lightworks rendering engine, OpenGL, or the Z buffer rendering engine. For now, we'll leave this on the internal engine. Now, right now we have just a surface color picked for this material, and that surface color can be adjusted with these parameters right here. We have transmittance, attenuation, emission attenuation. We have our reflection, whether it be ambient, diffuse, our shininess. So all these parameters can be adjusted, but we'll go into those more on a separate video. We have vectorial hatching that we can pick. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to search for a texture that we can apply to this material. And if we click on search, that'll bring up load other object. We can go from a file dialog box or open the library manager, but we have some built-in textures in our ARCHICAD library. We have Arrowway textures, and they have a website which I believe has many more textures that you can download, purchase and download. For right now, let's look at a couple of these. We've got metals here, and as we scroll through those, we get a little preview here. We've got various different pavers that we can work with. These are tiles, realistic textures. We've got our Textures 12 library from ARCHICAD. We've got cut stone, castle rock. So for right now, let's select castle rock and click OK. Now we have a preview here. We can also use these buttons to search. We have some additional parameters that can be adjusted here. We have different mirroring methods. These boxes up here give us the horizontal and the vertical size. We can uncheck this if we want to change the proportion. This will give us the rotation angle. Here's the mirroring methods, and you can see in the preview how the different mirroring methods affect the view. We have a sample size. We can have 1 by 1 or up to 4 by 4. We can also select some alpha channel effects, which will be explained in a separate video. We can turn on and off surface, ambient, specular, diffuse, bump mapping, and transparency. With vectorial hatching selected, we can find something that would be a little more appropriate. Let's try fieldstone in this case. If we go back to our Lightworks rendering engine, we can take a look at how that's going to render. And right now we only have the solid color. We can match that with the internal engine. We also have some other parameters here that we can work with: color, reflectance, transparency, displacement, texture space, pipeline. All this will be explained in a separate video. If we go back to our internal engine and double click on surface color, we can pick something that we may consider better for the surface color and click OK. Now our surface color for the internal engine has been changed. So we'll select OK, and that material will be created in our material settings. Now with the slab selected, we can go up here to materials. You won't be able to see this in the flyout, but we'll select test material, and there it is right there. And now we'll take a look at that in the 3D view. Now we'll go into our slab selection settings. Now we can link our materials for the slab so that they're all our test material. And we select OK. And that's what our object looks like with the new material applied. If we go back to our floor plan, we'll see that by turning on that hatching, we've now got a fill pattern similar to our photorealistic texture to simulate that look. Now if we go into our window, toolbars, 3D visualization, we can bring up our 3D visualization tools, and we'll dock those right there for now. And we can go into 3D window settings. Right now we have OpenGL working, so if we select the internal engine, select OK, and go into our 3D view. Now we've just got that solid color showing for the internal engine. We can go back into that view. Come down here to Vectorial 3D Hatching and turn that on. Select OK. And that'll give us that same hatching pattern that we were showing on the floor plan. And that's how easy it is to work with and create new materials. You can see the possibilities. You can take digital pictures of fabrics, stone, carpet, any kind of material that you'd like, and bring those into ARCHICAD and use those to make your project as realistic as you'd like.